Gavin McAnally, we go again.
We do indeed. In the most fucking farcical circumstances. If anyone at the moment can hear drilling, like a faint drilling sound in the back of the audio, is because my house is a building site, basically. There is people drilling in the kitchen, or what used to be a kitchen, downstairs. At the minute, it's stopped, so let's pray for that.
You've been quieter than usual this week, mate. Less voice memos sent to me. I've been missing you a little bit.
Mate, it actually feels like a joke that we spoke to each other a week ago. It feels like a month. I mean, my entire life has just been, it has been in a good and bad way, but it's just been hundreds going on. I've got the builders in there, so the kitchen has all been ripped out, the dining room's all ripped out, the spare room's all ripped out at the same time, which has made the rest of my gym's a makeshift kitchen, the garden's a building site. But we've got 3 kids to try and feed each night and make packed lunches for and get washings done. At the same time, my son went for his driving test yesterday and passed. That was great, but it was a whole stress thing about getting him ready for that. And since, we'll talk about Neurosis, but since they get mentioned, I've been chasing them about anywhere in the world that the Neurosis are available. 15 years ago, if you passed Neurosis in the street, I've sent you an email asking, do you know where they are and would they play Damnation? So it's just, We Lost the Sea, we'll get to as well. The venue upgrades, Damnation announcement, which I wish we could get to. Still waiting for the final thumbs up for that. So it's just been... one thing after another. It's been total fucking chaos in my life. I mean, the only reason I'm here is because I'm here. You know what I mean? It's like Shifty sent us 2 new wee muffs for the front of the mics, and I thought, well, you know what? If we're getting that serious, I need to show up. So it's been chaos, basically. This is going to be the James Scarlett show. I am hoping that my charisma and wit get me through this, because when I was in Mexico and I fucking glued a phone to the window, or when I was in Egypt and I showed up with 2 drinks, I was more prepared than I am for this episode.
Good. That's good. Good for me to find that out right this second. Shifty, you've creased my muff in the post, though, which is somewhat disappointing. For those of you not watching on YouTube. So tell me about your building work, though. I'm interested. Is it a new kitchen, or are you actually having structural stuff done?
It's thankfully just short of structural, even though they have ripped out the walls, because they were tiled before. Well, here we have done a relocation episode.
Mate, hit me.
So the walls kind of came out because of the gyprock that's so now what you've got, you can see right through to the wood structure and the paneling and with the wiring and the paneling. So that's what we're down to. Thankfully, I argued the case not to knock down the wall between the kitchen and what would have been like a spare room that Tom Begley slept in when he was here. Kelly wanted to make a one big open plan kitchen, and I've won one fight in this, which was to keep that just a utility room. So get all the fucking shit in here, the washing machine and tumble dryer and fucking the fridge and all that crap, and just have the kitchen for preparing food and eating it. And then the dining room's just getting updated because it's open plan with the kitchen. So it's a lot of space and a lot of work going on at the one time. Get Turkey, we're going to Turkey next week, so try to get that, and amongst everything else has just been pure chaos.
Fucking hell. Which scares me about the amount of podcasts we've got to record between now and then as well.
Which doesn't help as well.
I've just realised I don't even know what date you go. It's not the 1st, is it?
It's the 3rd.
Oh, no, yeah, okay. So we got 4, including today, we've got to do 4 podcasts in 8 days. Let's not worry about it, mate. It'll be fine. I've sent you the letter.
So the electrician comes in today and I says, well, where are you going to switch off? Because I've got a meeting. And you don't tell people in the building trade to do a podcast unless you want to get fucking laughed at. So I've got a meeting.
Never tell a builder about your podcast.
never tell them about metal music or building, right? So no, I was saying I'll be up there. I'm going to have a meeting with the staff. So I said, oh, it should be fine, just the back rooms. And then next thing you know, there's no internet. And I was, oh, here we go. This is a fucking shambles. So the power in my front room, the living room, it must be connected to the same circuit board or whatever the fuck, however the electricity works. So ultimately, I had to get an extension for upstairs. So in a bizarre way, I've got the Ethernet coming from the living room all the way up to here, like however many meters that is to get to the office, and now I've got a power cable going in the other direction. So I'm trying to power the router that's sending the Wi-Fi back to the house. It's just like, James, I can't underestimate the state of my life at the moment.
Mate, I love it. I'll look after you today, don't worry.
Please,
it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay.
I know it's what you didn't do to help me. When I had a quick look at the plan, when I miraculously managed to print it off in a Wi-Fi printer, was you added a Daniel Hay question, which you know for a fact is going to be some nerdy bullshit that I need 3 days to plan for. So I appreciate that.
You can't say I didn't voice memo you saying, look at Daniel Hay's question there.
So tell me about you tell me about your life, James. Cheer me up. Give me an hour away from the madness.
Look, here's the thing. It's been a mad week of stuff going on that has felt like big news in my musical life. So I wanted to talk about it. So I mean, firstly, my head actually came off my shoulders with the news that Neurosis were back. I mean, I thought even saying it out loud feels weird. So I feel like I should fill some people in because not everyone is going to know who Neurosis are on this. Let's listen to this. So they are one of the top tier post-metal bands. You can go and ask AI who are the biggest, most famous post-metal bands of all time. And really the Premier League is Cult of Luna, ISIS, Neurosis.
Now,
we can argue about this. We're not talking about quality, we're talking about size of band, I think. I would say the championship is then Russian Circles, Armin Ra. You might give Bosk and the Ocean a shout. And there are some others in there, which we could do a whole fucking episode arguing about. But the top three, I think, is Neurosis, ISIS, Cult of Luna. So they're a very important band. And I would say they're the greatest and most beloved of all the post-metal bands, which, again, you may not agree with. Gav, you will get your say on. I suspect you would take Cult of Luna every day of the week over Neurosis. We could do a whole long argument about that. You can chip in whenever you want to, but
you have your say. You have your say.
Okay, in 2022, Neurosis broke up, and they issued this statement about their former singer Scott Kelly. Now, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole much. The statement said, "We cannot overstate the level of disgust and disappointment we feel for a man who we once called brother. As a band, we parted ways with Scott Kelly at the end of 2019 after learning about severe acts of abuse he committed towards his family over the previous years." Right. So that's what happened. So as far as the rest of the world was concerned, that's got to be the end of it. Scott Kelly was singer, guitarist, songwriter of Neurosis, and you think that was over, and then out of the blue, last week they dropped their first album for 10 years. I mean, I fucking spat my coffee across the room. I fell off my chair. And then I messaged a couple of people to work out if it was... I honestly thought I was being fucking April Fooled or something. Neurosis can't be back. And also, to add to the mad intrigue of all of this, if you were sitting around trying to create a supergroup, if you're trying to audio slave post-metal, why don't we get the members of Rage Against the Machine with Chris Cornell on vocals? It's a great idea. What will that sound like? They've fucking done it. They've gone and got Aaron Turner from ISIS to be the new singer, guitarist and writer in Neurosis. It's fucking mental. Like, if you exist in this tiny little corner of the world called post-metal like I do, it's as bigger news as there could have been, I think. And there's a new fucking album. So this is what the band said. This is a typically Neurosis paragraph. The statement they put out was, "We need this, perhaps more than ever, and we suspect we are not alone. The trials and tribulations in our personal lives and as a band, combined with simply trying to navigate the insanity of our society with the stress, anxiety and isolation that come with it, can be excruciating. Add to that the existential confusion and sorrow of the climate crisis and the sixth mass extinction. It is enough to cause you to completely lose your mind if you can't find release or catharsis. This strange, emotionally charged music has always been our method of trying to survive this, and that is what we've always been singing about." here's a fucking new album, people. They didn't say that last bit. So the question, Gav, on the end of your tongue or everyone's tongues is it any good? And I've had the album for 5 days. I must have listened to it fucking, I don't know, 25 times at least. Like it's the only thing I've listened to for probably 8 to 10 hours a day. I fucking absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Now, just to be clear about my thoughts on Neurosis, I'm not a Neurosis fanboy that loves everything they've done. I thought the last album was quite good, pretty good. It didn't make my top 10, probably not even my top 20 of that year. Look, it sounds like Neurosis. It's got 4 of the 5 main members still in the band. It's still got Steve Von Till's like wonderful vocals. It's still got the Neurosis songwriting, minus Scott Kelly, obviously. And now it's got added Aaron Turner Aaron Turner's not just from ISIS, he's from Sumac, and a fucking bunch of other mad, crazy, out there projects. So look, it's not a full review because I think it's too soon after 5 days, but I just think it's fucking amazing. It's got your like Neurosis, slow, doomy post-metal bits. I sent you a song earlier on today, which is like, it could have been, that song could come straight off the We Lost the Sea album, the way it starts. It's like it's a post-rock song. I can almost picture that Aaron Turner wrote that, but maybe that's bollocks, who knows. The album ends on this like mad 16-minute electronic fucking weird prog thing. So it's got some quite succinct Neurosis songs and lots of fucking 8 to 10 minute mad fucking out there. I think it's fucking great. I'm trying so hard to not get too excited too soon, but I can't contain my excitement. That Neurosis are back and this album is fucking brilliant and they've got Aaron Turner in the band. What are you saying about all this, Gav?
I feel like your excitement's enough for both of us. This is a weird thing, right? This is a weird thing. The Neurosis, you're allowed 2 answers about Neurosis. You're allowed it, I don't know them, or they're the greatest thing ever happened and I'm away to go and rip the nut off it. People fucking worship Neurosis and I have always thought they were a good band. You're right. At the start, we get into this type of music. I don't know, 2002, 2003, maybe with Cult of Luna, maybe slightly with that Leave Me Here tune on Scuzz or Kerrang. That was that and Devil Sold the Souls Like It's Last were my 2 sort of entry points into that post-metal. And the Cult of Luna were my standalone top post-metal band. I think Amon Ra are the best band in the world to do it these days, but Amon Ra and Cult of Luna are my 2 of my favourites. Didn't get into ISIS and Neurosis the same way for whatever reason. Now, you're right, Neurosis are a legendary post-metal band, but they've got a progressive bit to their music. It's not quite as clean-cut post-metal as the way that Cult of Luna and Amon Ra do it. Theirs is quite clinical in the way it's there's very, I don't know, I'm not a musician, I don't know what they're doing different with their pedals, but Neurosis have got a really sludgy element to it as well, and a proggy element that can go on for a bit that you don't really get in Amon Ra and Cult of Luna. So I remember it was Given to the Rising was the record in 2007 where I really gave Neurosis out, and I was like, again, excellent band. I lot like Russian Circles. This is the same kind of exhibit, Russian Circles. A band that I've always admired, that I've always went out to see if they've been at a festival, always enjoyed. I went to see Neurosis at Hellfest, I enjoyed them. But they were never, this would be equivalent to Cult of Luna breaking up in 2019 and then, or Amon Ra breaking up in 2019 and then dropping a brand new album with coming back with a new vocalist for me. So excited. My WhatsApp Skullmunchers group completely exploded, like Fro and Catigan and Joe and all you guys are massive Neurosis fans. So everyone went mental in my circles too. I put the album on, thought it was really enjoyable. I've maybe listened to it 3 or 4 times. A couple of tracks that really standout ones. I was like, this is excellent. My big thing for it was the promoter side of it. I was like, okay, they're doing Fire in the Mountains. by 2027, I don't think that Damnation is going to stand much of a chance, and I don't think it'll be down to money for it. I think it'll be down to just if they go and they're going to come and do it and do the Hellfest period. Maybe they'll do maybe Cam for download while I get them in download, or do a big London show. If they go with the August period and you guys get them, they'll go with Art Tangent and Brutal Assault, and they'll do it's a long shot for by the time it gets to 2027 for it to land on Damnation's patch, even if the money was like for like. So I was like, I'm going to try and do it this year. I am going to try. So I emailed an old European agent, an old UK agent, I got a bounce back from the American agent, fucking PR. I was like, look, if anything can be done for this year, I will offer more than I've ever offered a band to play Damnation before, which I did, and it does not look likely. There's a whole lot going on with them. I don't think that's going to be something we can pull off. In fact, I think that they tell me that it was all going to be almost impossible. So that's what I done. And I had a few days of not only the excitement of coming back, but it was a real, at the start, there wasn't sometimes you just get a hard no. It's just like, that's just not even a part. This was more like, well, let's see what's happening. And then it was a bit like, it just didn't look like it's going to be possible. So I had a few days where I was a bit like, fuck. There could be, this miracle could happen. So that's where I have been in that journey. And I know, have you even wanted to, have you even made an approach yet?
Of course.
Yes. So,
no, I'm not getting into, I think it's going to be a complicated thing. We're, like you kind of alluded to there. So we'll see. I've been band booking quite a bit this week, and some really exciting stuff for both festivals, some mad stuff that I didn't think was possible. So nothing has been done yet. I'm just in my wonderful period of like anything is possible at the moment. So we'll see.
It was a weird one too, because the meme started almost immediately. It was very much like, what that, the one with the woman and the guy lying in the bed, like the woman going, I bet he's thinking about other women, and the guy's lying there going, I wonder if Gav or James gets him first. And there is a bit of like, Damnation's going to be interested. Clearly, we almost had them previously. You're going to be interested. Almost had them previously. Cam Hack was a promoter. I think he put on the last London show, so he's obviously going to be in the mix with it. Desert Fest or another event that would be after them. So there's a bunch of people that are going to be throwing their hat in the ring. It's Dillinger's escape plan cash. You know what I mean? It's like it's proper top tier money, and whoever get it, then go for it. It's going to be great. But that was the first few days. It was like it kind of, and it took us to, because what happened straight away with Damnation? People going, oh, is this what Gavin's got coming up next week? We're still trying to pull something together for the end of this month. So there was a case of, fuck, no matter what you do now, this is one of these ones where, oh, this is it, download announcing fucking Nirvana. You're like, no, it's Green Day or Tool, or shit, whatever. There's a bit of that as well to make it clear that, no, this isn't what's coming for Damnation, but the honesty to say that, like every other promoter on the fucking planet, I've thrown my hat in the ring.
Yeah, no, I think that is annoying, as we talked about. It's like, I don't want people thinking Biffy Clyro and Neurosis are playing at the festivals next year, because that can only lead to disappointment. So yeah, we'll see. I think it was interesting what you just said about sort of comparing them to other post-metal bands, in that I think my thing with them is, and the reason I really love them, is because they are more eclectic and wide-ranging than an Amon-Ra, who do their thing brilliantly, and I fucking love. And I don't think there's a better post-metal band live than Amon-Ra, probably, although Cult of Luna would give them a run. Whereas Neurosis just do lots of different things. They're quite like hardcore punk phase early on, and they dip in and out of different genres. So it's much more, you're much more unsure to what the Neurosis album's going to sound like. I really liked their album Honor Found in Decay, which is fucking quite a long. It's quite old out. It's a recent Neurosis album, but it's still probably 12 or more years old, and that's got a lot of electronic stuff on it. I really love that album. So they're just more, for me, more interesting than any post-metal band. And look, I love Cult of Luna. I love Bosk. I love Amon-Ra. I love Russian Circles. But Russian Circles, what do you want Russian Circles to do? You want them to fucking lock into that fucking Russian Circles groove. That's what I wanted to do. But Neurosis is a bit more like open-ended, I think.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's all good. It's all good. Brilliant band. Brilliant to have them back. Brilliant circumstances to have them back. Obviously, we lost them to pretty horrid circumstances that have no fault of the rest of the band members. And then they had to give up something that they were clearly very passionate about and needed this outlet back in life. So great, let's have them back. Let's see them everywhere. Let's enjoy them. Well, we've got them with Aaron in the band too. So really fucking pretty chuffed, and I've looked. It's a weird one as well because I feel like this is. I've heard so much about Neurosis in maybe in the last 10 years as well, where maybe I hadn't. I've never really went back and properly investigated the back catalogue. It was quite exciting to get into a Neurosis album alongside the rest of the, like, everyone's hearing it for the first time for the first couple of days. I quite enjoyed that. I mean, there was no way that I wasn't going to go in on it, even if I didn't think. I did think it was great the first time, but even if I didn't, I would have gave it a Converse treatment, and I would have went, right, I'm doing this one 5 or 6 times to make sure, but I've enjoyed it each time I've heard it, and maybe I'll be one that I really do fall in love with. And maybe that's a key for me to get back into the old classics where you always see people talking about.
Yeah. I mean, and it's been nice that the reception's been really warm and people seem to really like it, because sometimes you can get excited about something and then everyone else is like, no, that was a bit of a stinker. And you're like, fuck, have I got this wrong? But everyone seems to love it. So fuck yeah. If you don't know them, this is as good an entry point as any, I think. So have a go.
If you're a Trees fan and came back after the Biffy Clyro episode, sorry about the first 20 minutes of this pod.
Yeah, run screaming to the hills. Here's a Trees artist, though, that I wanted to talk about. So I didn't know whether we should include this or not, but I felt like it would be remiss of me not to say something about Ginger Wildheart. So, like, people that listen to the podcast will know I have spouted on and on and on about the Wildhearts. One of my favourite bands of all time. They were absolutely instrumental in shaping my music taste. When I did my albums of all time list, or when I started it for a future episode of the podcast, Earth versus the Wildhearts album is in the top 10, as your spoiler. They are probably a top 3 band for me of all time. So they're really important. So last week, Ginger revealed that he's been given 2 to 3 years to live. He's been diagnosed with a rare blood cancer called mantle cell lymphoma. He's refusing treatment. He put out a statement saying, it was such a ballsy Wildhearts-like statement. No misery, please. Positivity all the way. I've lived the life of 10 men and I will die with dignity. And he is basically said he's going to go out on stage. He's going to play as many shows as he can. He's going to do as much as he can. He's going to write, record the lot. It's like, if you wanted to sort of have there's no right way to deal with this sort of thing, but it's a pretty fucking good way to deal with it, I think. He's just like, fucking come on, life, let's fucking go. We've got 2 to 3 years. So look, it made me feel really fucking sad, but I don't think he doesn't want that. So I'll just send, my best wishes and all my love to Ginger. If you remember, I talked about on the podcast before. So I've met Ginger twice in my life. Once when I was 14 and he was playing a Wildhearts show, I think in Wolverhampton. And I was on the barrier watching the show and he came down and he signed my ticket. And I still got the little ticket with Ginger written on it, proper fanboy moment. And then he came back to Trees. We came to Trees all those years later with the Wildhearts, and I forced my brother to come down and fanboy with me. And I've got this photo on my wall of me, Rob, the Wildhearts, and Frank Turner in a photo. It's fucking great. It's like probably my favourite Trees. I'm getting my photo taken with a band photo I've ever had. And he's just a really, really important person in my musical journey, I suppose, as cheesy as that might sound. But look, he wants us to be positive. So let's all go out and blast the Wildhearts, book the Wildhearts, let's get them, let's go and see them at a show, let's book them for a festival. There's some more urgency to this. My brain is firing off with, fuck it, why can't the Wildhearts play Arctangent? They've done some mad proggy shit and some mad, this is not me announcing it, by the way, I haven't told the Wildhearts or their agent this.
Have they told Ginger he's playing Arctangent for the next couple of years?
Well, their agent and manager listen to the podcast, so they're finding this out for the first time now. But like, why can't they come and do the Endless Nameless album at Arctangent plus the fucking proggy hits? I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to fucking squeeze them in wherever I can from now on, because they are, I think, one of the best British rock bands ever, and they should have been. They came up around the time the Foo Fighters exploded, and I just think the Wildhearts could have been that, and it just didn't quite work out for them because they were having too much fun and being fucking rock stars. So, yeah, it's sad, but it's a reason to celebrate the band. I think that's what
he's asking us to celebrate him. He's asking us to celebrate band, then let's do that. It's a ballsy move, and he's got every right to go the way that he wants to go. So, I mean, should you have the Wildhearts at your events, I will be there beside you with a pint in hand, enjoying.
Lovely stuff. Good. Okay. Couple of other bits and pieces from me. So the Clash Finders are coming next week now. That is confirmed. I think it's Monday and Tuesday. So you'll know if you're a Trees fan or an 80s. Yeah, so they're both going to be out next week. And there's 2 more bands coming for Trees today as you listen to this. I was going to leak them, but I'm not going to leak them because there's one really exciting one. I don't want to trump our social media team. What that means, the Clash Finders, Gav, is that we now have times for the podcast live sets. I know you're keen to find out. So at Trees, we'll be on at 2:20 on the Saturday afternoon. There was quite a lot of pressure from Rich, who does the kids stuff and the comedy, books all the comedy, and now he books the kids stuff. He wanted us on just before the comedy at 6:30 because he like MCs it. So he wants me and you to pack the tent, and then he can come on and keep him in there. And I was like, mate, I'm not fucking doing 6:30 in the evening. Like, we start clashing with big bands, and me and Gav will be a little bit merry.
Well oiled.
Yeah, well oiled is the word. We'll probably be quite well oiled by 2:20. Anyway, so that's that. We are clashing with some bands. You have to find out next week who those are.
No one is going to make me shout at you. You know.
No. There was the one. You know, the American Indian band Dead Pioneers. We clashed with half of their set. I think we'll be able to run straight after us if we've still got any beans left to go and catch a bit of it. It's a bit like last year. I want to see all the bands, so I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's the problem with it. But you're not like squeezing into either of the festivals without clashing with something. So, Ballot Tangent, it'll be clash free. We're not going to cause that ruckus again.
No, so 10 a.m. yokai. And look, as an experience goes, Trees is much preferable for me because I could take a few clashes just to be able to wake up not in a panic. But like that whole 10 a.m. thing is brutal. When it's 8:30 in the morning, it is a brutal thought.
You've been going since Wednesday.
Yeah.
Aye, it's really before that. I mean, fuck, especially yourself. You're gonna have a party there on the Tuesday before you open your gates. So, yes, we are going to need all the support in the world for that huge, now bigger yokai tent. So, bring your friends, whether they want to or not.
Yeah, that'll be good. And then the last thing is just to say to everyone that we are recording 4 podcast episodes in the next 8 days. That is the plan anyway. So that we've got 2 to release while we're both on holiday. So I need people to give us some questions. We need the questions thread. We need a lot more fucking questions on that questions thread. We're also recording with Mike Van Aert, which will come out at some point in the next couple of weeks. And he needs some questions. There's a lot of fucking geeky fanboy questions, which I'm not asking him. I'm not asking him how he sets up his pedal board. Sorry to take the piss out of whoever asks that. But I'm not asking him that. And I don't want to ask him about all the worst days of his life either. So let's maybe, I think there's we could do with a few extra questions on that. So we are working hard to make sure that we don't miss out an episode. Last thing from me, I wanted to give a shout out. If you're watching on YouTube to this magazine, it is called Original Soundtrack. I noticed, Gav, that you've been throwing the money around on fucking page 1 with the Damnation poster.
Look at that. That
Lovely.
thing up, but what's even more beautiful, though, James? Look at that one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Every
lovely.
Thursday, 6 a.m, full page advert was beside our good friends at Church Road. So thank you. It was George Miller, I believe, is the man responsible for this. So thank you for sending it out.
Yeah, so this is issue number 1. It's got in it, so there's an album coming out soon with Melvins and Napalm Death doing a collab, which sounds pretty cool. So there's an interview with them. There's the Callous Boys, Crippled Black Phoenix, McCluskey, Sugar Horse, Zoo, fucking loads of others, all of which are relevant to the festivals. So I'm going to take this on holiday with me, George, and I'm going to properly read it. It looks fucking great. I had a little flick through, so thank you for sending that through.
Yeah, and
That
tell me,
is
it's not easy. It's not easy. It's like I've got the guy Jim Sharples who does the Fistful of Metal. I don't know if you've all had a copy of the Fistful of Metal. An excellent print mag that he's managed to keep going in an era where, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's a bit like that vinyl effect now. It's like people who want a physical product to hold and read is like that's what you're aiming for rather than the mass market of it all. But well done, fair play for putting the time and effort into that in a period where, as we've said a million times before, there's just a sort of journalism, click and share. So good, well done, George. I hope it goes well, mate.
Yeah, thanks, George. I did wonder if Gav would use that as an opportunity to do a tiny little dig.
I didn't. I never did that. I just said there's a wee bit. I held myself back. I have no.
Oh, well done.
I have no stomach. I have no stomach left or want to be. I think that was exhausted in those 2 podcasts, so it's all good. I was actually just saying, well done for going to make that effort, and shout out to Fistful of Metal Mag also. Okay, is that? Are you there? Is that?
I want to hear about what you've been up to other than your kitchen.
Aye, exactly.
I don't want to hear about the kitchen.
What I didn't need in the middle of the madness of my life in the moment is to represent both of us at Ripcord Fest that happened in Nice and Sleazy's in Glasgow at the weekend. But being the man I am, I did. And I got, believe me, James, I gave it enough beans for 2 people.
Good lad.
I went along to Nice and Sleazy. You know what? It was a weird, I took a weird sense of enthusiastic obligation along with me. I knew when I went along I was going to see every single band, and I wasn't going to be doing my usual, just catching up with pals or sitting outside the pub. So I went along like I've been invited to this. I've kindly been put on the guest list. There's bands here. The thing is, you can't do this podcast right and be like, oh, we're not special, right? We're 2 guys in a fucking podcast. We organise events, right? But you can't go too far in the other direction with the false modesty. It's like it doesn't matter at all whether I watch this band or not, because the band have messaged and said I hope you catch the set. So you go in with a wee bit like, there's bands playing this event who want me to see them live. They have asked me to catch them at events before, if not this, and I feel like I should. I feel like I've been invited along. I should. So I went to that, but what also came with it was a copious amount of pints. In fact, when I walked through, first thing I walked through the door, and wonderful woman Charlene, who organised the event, which was sold out, 200 people crammed in there from start to finish. She handed me a bag of CDs, which I don't know, about fucking a dozen CDs or more in it. And the first thing I said back to her, is there any way you could, thank you, but is there any way you could store these for me? Because I've been walking about like a shopping bag of CDs for the next God knows how many hours. And it started, pint in hand, a band called Wolves played, sort of hardcore type band, slightly different. It was a bit of a post-metal fest, but they very cleverly dropped the bands in amongst every other band to make sure you didn't just get lost in the mire of post-metal. And Wolves with a guy, Andy Price, who's a good I listener to this podcast. I recognise the name. He gave me a t-shirt. They were a great start to it. Enjoyed them. Solars, brilliant. Civil Service, who we know about. I believe I've played Art Tangent. I've played Art Tangent. Excellent. Helve, a band I didn't know, but again, a wee bit more brutality about them. Excellent. Million Moons. They finished off the sort of first half of the day. Also excellent. I mean, really, every band I saw on the day, you were a bit like, they're putting on a hell of a show to a packed room. I really enjoyed it. Up to about the halfway mark, they cleverly put in a break to let people go and get food without missing any of the bands, went to a wee Palestinian restaurant with some friends, had some Palestinian food, fucking loved that too. Went back, the second half of the event, it just got even better. It was one of those ones where I would have said by the end of the first half, as much as I'd enjoyed all, and I was, by this point I was about 10 pints deep. Million Moons really did, they were an excellent band. There's a big guy, I think his name is Rory, who is always banging on about, have you heard Million Moons? Million Moons, I thought they were excellent. I thought, I mean, any of these bands that played the first half would easily sit in an Art Tangent lineup, but Million Moons I thought were excellent. Then Brief a Steel Sky, that I've said before on the podcast, fantastic. And Different Engine, who you had playing Art Tangent last year, brilliant. Again, a wee bit of punk energy to the stage, so again, it's not just about a stare at your pedal board. I mean, the guy, the front man for Different Engine is the kind of guy on stage you can't take your eyes off of, because he is all over the gaff. And then the 100-year-old, no 100 code speaker came on, and then it's like the quality went ramped up a bit again. I was like, oh, this is the best band of the day, Code Speaker. And then 100-year-old man came on, and they were like fucking icing on the cake, the cherry, the icing, the riffs. It was stunning. But end it, I was like, fucking hell, what a day of music. The UK's post-metal scene and the post-metal adjacent bands is in real good health. There is a lot of amazing music. That was set after set after set, each one back down after a drink. I was hammered by the end of 100-year-old man. I was handed 6 or 7 t-shirts. I got my bag of CDs back. There was Art Tangent, Damnation, Podcast Love from start to finish. It was one of those crowds that fucking 90% of the people in the room had either heard of the podcast or listened to the podcast and knew of the festival. So there's a real buzz about the place. It was an excellent day. I really had an utterly brilliant day. I should maybe have called it quits at that point, but next thing you know, it's 2 or 3 in the morning. There's been a bunch of Jack Daniels that have been getting handed everywhere. Some guy's been sick on the fucking table in front of us. Somebody's falling over. I don't know what I've done, right? Because I've got my elbows skint. My calf was sore, and I've jolted my back. I'm like an old man this week walking about. So I don't know if I've slipped down one of the stairs or I've slipped up the stairs when I've come in. I was in some nick. In fact, it's the most drunk I've been in a long time. But I had an amazing day, amazing night with a bunch of amazing people. And well done to everyone who was involved in that. One of the guys, one of the bands, wanted to make a shout out to some Aussie guy, I think his name was Derek, who flew from Australia to go to Ripcord Festival because there was three of the bands that, well, chances are he's never ever going to see them if he doesn't get his arse to Scotland or the UK to see them. So well done to that guy, if his name is Derek, for the travel for Australia to go to Ripcord Fest. Well done to all the bands that played. Well done to the organisers who put it all together. Ran smoothly. The wee break in the middle was a fucking touch of genius. The way it was billed, having that you're getting that wee change of pace to keep it interesting as well. 100-year-old man, Code Speaker at the end of the night, fucking brilliant, absolutely great. I was it's taken me to about this morning to recover. I was pretty fairly broken by it all, but brilliant. And I believe they're going to do another one. So long may that continue, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get James up, because you would, all joking aside, James, you'd have gave it the beans and then some, because it was right up your street. It was right up your street.
It sounds awesome. I mean, it's not to be sniffed at, getting 200 people to bands of that genre and that size in Glasgow. I mean, I've done similar things in Bristol that have sold less tickets than that. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair play to them. So Million Moons is your they've never played ATG recommendation. Is that what we're going for?
Yeah, Million Moons. Somebody came up to me, actually. I don't know if it was a guy from Million Moons. One of the bands came up to me and said, I don't know, let's say it was Hell, right? And he said, oh, it would be good to get us an ATG. And I was like, I don't book ATG. He goes, come on, you could get us on. Straight in speed there, James. Listen, James, I'll get some. But yeah, I mean, I would honestly, I wouldn't sell you a dummy anyway. I would never put your position in your position of putting on bands that I thought wouldn't do a solid job. But I thought every band, start to Wolves, right through to obviously 100-year-old man, who we've both had player festivals before, would do a solid job. I mean, the fact that there's another thing as well, James. It's all very, very well getting 200 people to go, but you might expect a lot of that crowd to show up 6, 7 o'clock. I mean, the fact that Wolves are on stage, and I mean, I was at the bar. I was at the back of the room, The people in front of me, it was packed from the opening band. So, aye, they all commanded a crowd as well. So they've obviously got a buzz about it. So, aye, well chuffed with that. It broke me. It broke me somewhat, but enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it.
That's good. I'm gutted I didn't come, but also the breaking bit. I felt very much like last year started for me in June, and with Damnation, a 2-week holiday, and the tour at the end of the year, like from June until, and then Christmas, from June until January was just fucking carnage for me. And I've just had a little word with myself and been like, let's just fucking calm it down, and then we'll go again in June.
Can you have a word
And
with me?
I'm fucking going again in June, but I'm just taking my time.
Well, I'm not to say that I'm not jealous as that as well, James. As much as I enjoyed myself, it was a bit like, it takes a little longer to recover from it, especially that, because that probably was I don't know, fucking 15 pints and 10 Jack Daniels kind of session. That's the one you brush off the following day. So, aye, big shout out to all them. Damnation announcement, not really a lot further forward than was when I was the last time we spoke. Of the 4 bands, I said there was going to be possibly 5. That 5th band turned out wasn't a thing. So of the 4 bands, 3 are confirmed. I am waiting on the confirmation of the 4th band. Should that happen, we're going to be in a sweet spot. None of those bands are in Neurosis, unfortunately, but I will be ready to go. I mean, I think I need to get something out by Monday, Tuesday, the end of this month, regardless. But I'm desperately hoping to get all 4 of the bands gigs. I've talked myself into a position. I really want all 4 now. So that's happening with that.
You've also got just to put a bit more pressure on you, because we're pre-recording the podcast. You do need to get it out if you can, because otherwise you're not going to be able to talk about it on here until the end of April.
See, my head's not even in that that time scale. I know, yeah. But since you're Mr. Organised at the minute and fucking sitting there feeling healthy, then I will trust you to keep topping with that. All right?
Yeah, you got to get it out Monday, Tuesday next week. Then we can talk about it together on Tuesday or Wednesday. Pre-records. There you go.
Okay,
done.
Okay, that's the plan. And the final bit of sort of update for me is we lost the sea. Obviously, I said to you last week that they were going to sell out Manchester. Did sell out Manchester. Bristol had already sold out. They have taken a decision to upgrade both those shows. Manchester's moving to Manchester Academy 2, which is a big-ass room. And I don't know this venue, Prospect Building in Bristol, is where they're moving to in Bristol. So I assume another big-ass venue. So
yes, a cracking space that. It's where I saw Biffy Clyro do their acoustic set.
I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. But I think the thinking for the We Lost the Sea camp is they're not fucking around. They bring their light sky, they bring their sound, they bring their production, they fly them over for Australia. So it's a bit like, let's give them the space to work. So they are very keen in making these shows the fucking best things they've ever done. And they're backing themselves to do that. So it could be very, I mean, it's amazing to sit and see that with a sold out. I mean, Nottingham will sell out soon, Glasgow will follow suit, London might get there too, and then you sit there and you get a big sold out poster and you can just build on it. But these guys are like, no, well, this is something we're not just nipping across with Belgium or France. This is everything to us, and to go and be able to do the shows, whether it costs us a few bob more or not, that's not the primary concern. The primary concern is give us a big stage with a production we can do to give you the show we want to give you. And like, fucking fair play. I mean, absolutely what I would say to anyone listening to this podcast is support them. Let's say, I mean, the support so far has been fucking incredible. I don't think at the very start that they were considering these shows all selling out 7-8 weeks in advance. So it's been fucking incredible to see, and I am looking forward to seeing how far they can take it.
Why has no agent approached us to do our next 2 Promoters 1 Pod promoted tour? I mean, what the fucking evidence is there, right?
I don't know, James. I don't know. I mean, like, why? I don't know. Like, when we sold 350 tickets to Manchester Breadshed, why we would never book for anything else after that? And I mean, maybe they don't like you. Maybe there's a problem with you in the industry. You ever think about that?
I've got a few problems in the industry, certainly. There's no doubt about that. You mentioned the Breadshed. Did you see this week made me feel all sad and nostalgic for we were on tour. This time last year was when we were on fucking tour, man. We just We just got back from the first leg, and we would have been tomorrow going out again, I think.
And you saying that you get started with getting a wee bit off the rails in June, mate, and clearly you went off the rails in March then, eh?
Oh, mate, that was right off the fucking rails, yeah. Did I
And
come back on? I don't know.
Am I right in thinking that now you're looking svelte, that you've got a wee Lost to Sea shirt on under that?
I do. It was a bit tight in the summer, so I didn't wear it. And yeah, they gave it to me, and he actually said to me, "Why haven't you got it on?" And I don't think I said to him because I've been eating fucking burgers for the last 3 weeks. But that was what I was thinking. But no, it's all nice fitting, so it's a lovely t-shirt. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic. It's all coming up rosy. Okay, and
Yeah.
am I right in thinking that you've got something to tell us about the super sub? I'm loving this. James taking responsibility for the super sub.
Yeah. So Ross Dalladay used the email address subs@2promotersonepod.com. Is that right?
How do you know that?
Because it came to me. I'm just checking the email address. subs@2promotersonepod dot something or other. Fucking hell. What an amateur. So basically, Ross sent this email and he said, "We may have a pod first. I was drawn out of the jug of joy on the same week as the birth of my firstborn, born Friday the 6th. Truly my cup runneth over. Little Rowan Dalladay, born 6th of the 3rd, 25. Mum Harriet, an absolute hero." Anyway,
Congratulations.
I have a trio of hopefully very small ATG related requests, should you be so minded. Apologies, they're not Damnation ones. I'm restricted to one festival for obvious reasons rather than my previous 4, and ATG is the winner. Good. Okay, so here's his 3 requests. I'm going to say yes to 2 of them. I noted from the pod you've started looking at artists for 2027, and since I've got your ear for a minute, I've thrown together a CD-length playlist of bands who haven't ever, I think, played. So that includes Oxen, which is a Lankham side project, a bit more avant-garde, and Haunted Plasma, which is an Oranzi Pazuzu side project. Now, both of those bands are on my radar already, Ross. Great choices, particularly Oxen. I would love to have Oxen, and I have talked to them in the past. He also recommends getting Ezekiel, they could be a coup, Tark, who are fantastic live, and Gates of Dawn, who released the best album of last year to the resounding clash of nobody giving a fuck, apparently. So, Ross, I have already listened to this podcast today, this playlist today. I'm going to go back in on Gates of Dawn. You've really piqued my interest. They've got 210 monthly listeners. So if we've uncovered some sort of gem here, then fair fucking play. So that's a yes to that. I've already listened and I will listen some more. Second request, which I'm going to say no to, is any chance of roping off a 5-tent space in VIP for my little posse. We generally rock up about 10:30 on the Thursday. Mate, 10:30 on the Thursday's got chaos written all over it. So you'll piss everyone off. Someone will have burnt the fucking area I've roped off down. I've done it at Reading and got in near fights at Reading from trying to save spaces for people. It's scary. So I'm not doing it. I've got too much on my plate. Sorry. Last one. Ross says, "Don't know if you do them. I've never really had cause to look before, but if you've had any spare old teeny tiny ATG merch for Rowan to rep at his playground in a few months' time, that would be super." Yes, Ross, go to the merch desk at ATG, ask for Kev, get a selfie with Kev because he's famous now, and ask him if you can have one of the baby growth type things, and it will be yours. That's it. Well done on the long list of requests. You got 2 of them.
Do you know what? 'Cause you fired across to me just before we started. I thought he was saying if we could get one of the 3, you'd be delighted. So you gave him 2.
He did. But I thought me listening to a playlist seems a bit mean to not do that one.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations, mate. Did he say that? Was that his first? Is that welcome to fatherhood for him? Or is he, if it's your first, mate? It's
Firstborn.
Don't listen
Welcome to hell, my friend. Life
I'm
only
ju-
gets worse
I
progressively
was
for the next
just about
4
to
years.
say, don't listen to the miserable bastards who fucking tell you how bad it is. It's the fucking greatest thing ever. Is it challenging? Of course it's fucking challenging, but nothing as good as no challenging. So enjoy it. Before you know it, believe me, as the man who's just watched his son pass his driving test yesterday, it disappears. I remember taking Niall to first day at primary 1, just passed his fucking driving test. It will be over on the blink of an eye. So enjoy every fucking second of it.
Here.
Okay, I am going to give a shout out to ISO Merch, our fucking good friends at ISO Merch, who are today celebrating 1 year supporting Two Promoters, One Pod. And being the types that they are, they said, let's make a big deal about that. They created a fucking, their own section of their website for it. And if you go to that, which is www.isomerch.com/2p1p, you can throw your name in a hat to win £100 a store credit to celebrate 1 year of Two Promoters, One Pod. All they want you to do is chuck your name into their mailing list. And what's the worst thing that happens? They send you some fucking special offers for all the great fucking swag that they get that's continually updated week after week after week. So I'm telling you, people, do you know the amount? I've been working with ISO Merch now for 15 years with the festival. I have friends who have won their competitions because no one gets involved in competitions. Everybody thinks it's like fucking, you're getting conned the way you did in the 90s. About hundreds of thousands of people entering into stuff and then it never transparent MD won. These guys always come through with the goods. You've got an amazing chance of getting yourself £100 worth of swag for the what? Sticking your email address into and supporting an amazing company that support all our festivals and the podcast. With that £100, if you get it, they have expanded. They haven't expanded. The relapse section on their store has exploded. They have now become like a UK suppliers for relapse records who have so much good merch. Now, in fact, James, you need to go back on and look again because there's Amin Ra, Kevin, Boris, Dead Guy, Dillinger, Yob, all that merch is there now. It's fucking fantastic. In fact, some of the Amin Ra merch is really, really nice that I need to go and get for myself. You have until April the 1st, Wednesday, April the 1st, to put your name, add your name to the mailing list and bear me a chance of getting £100 store credit. They will directly notify the winner. Make sure you let us know if you're the winner too so we can congratulate you and see what you do with your dosh. If you don't win, get yourself on there and pick up. They've got new records, new Castle Rat records. They had all sorts of new vinyl. Every time you click on it, they've got a new web store set up and they have got more merch on the go too. You've been for your corn bathrobe yet? You need to get your corn bathrobe, James.
Mate, I've forgotten the corn bathrobe. I do. I'm going to go and check out the relapse stuff you just mentioned and I will have a look at the
what we should do for the 1 year anniversary is we should give ourselves £100 store credit from the account and go and get ourselves a wee haul of stuff from ISO Merch. That's what we should do. Deal. Done. Okay, so you can get a Colin bathrobe and some relapse stuff. I'm going to get some Amin Ra merch and maybe a vinyl, and we will tell you next week what we picked up. Go and get yourselves involved. For no other reason as well, then ISO Merch are fucking fantastic. What a great outfit. Hugely supportive, involved now in all 3 festivals. Never mind all your other ones, your Bloodstocks and downloads and everything else you've been involved in. Go and give those guys the support because they fucking deserve it.
Absolutely, they do. Okay.
Daniel Hay.
Let's do a couple of questions. Daniel Hay. I mean, Daniel, you've really got some fucking questions up your sleeve. You have, mate.
He does ask a lot of questions.
He says, music nerd question. Do you guys have any artists where you love a single album, but the gap between that and their next best is so significant that you can't truly consider them one of your favourite bands, even if they have one of your favourite albums? Oh, Daniel, this set my mind fucking racing, mate. I think Gav's been swerving the shit out of this question because it's been in three plans over the last couple of months, and we haven't quite got to it.
It's true. I have been swerving it because I feel like Daniel gets a question crowbarred in every fucking episode to do, whether it's a Q&A or not. And secondly, his ones you need to sit down and do a dissertation to come up with some answers. So it has been swerved, but James, you have got it in here under the radar, and I'm no doubt you've got one of your traditionally nerdy answers.
Yeah, so we're looking for a band
James,
with a single.
Just before you start, that's twice you've let me do that. We haven't picked somebody for the fucking the Jug of Joy. So when
I actually saved you last time, but go
on. You did save me last time. So if we're doing that and you're going to be taking responsibility for reading the thing out, you need to remind me at the end that somebody needs to get picked. Because I just got away listening to you in English, so let me quickly and then we'll get into that. And the winner is Steve Bock, B-O-C-K, Steve Bock, you are this week's Jug of Joy. Dave Bird, who was picked last week, has been in touch to say he knows he's been picked, but he's given it some thought. So Steve Bock, Dave Bird, well, let's hear what they've got for next week. Apologies for cutting into there, sir.
That's ominous, Dave. Dave's going big, Gav, I reckon. Okay, so what Daniel's asking for is a single album that you love where you can't quite consider the band your favourite because there's such a big gap to other albums. So I've got a few that spring to mind. So the big one is Foo Fighters, where I think Colour and the Shape is one of the best albums ever made. I just cannot explain in the I don't know. I would call it pop rock, which is a really shit description. But in the sort of popular rock territory, there is nothing better than it. I don't think. Possibly one Wildhearts album, and it's such an amazing album. Now, I'm not saying I don't like any other Foo Fighters albums because the first album's really good. The third album is excellent. I've got a lot of problem with a lot of Foo Fighters albums though, and it has really coloured my... If someone said name your top 50 bands of all time, they wouldn't be in it. But if they said name your top albums, then I'm fucking Colour and the Shape all the way. So that's my first one. Second one is Power Trip by Monster Magnet, which I absolutely fucking love that album. Again, there are other Monster Magnet albums, and some people are probably throwing their phone out the window at the fact that I would consider that the best Monster Magnet album when they had so many early classics. But this album hit late 90s and it was just perfect timing for me. And it's amazing. It's got so many bangers on it. So I can't quite consider Monster Magnet because they've done some average dog shit in latter years. It's not all dog shit. Talking of bands that have done some average dog shit in latter years, Megadeth, Rust in Peace. Like one of the best metal albums ever made, in my opinion. There are other great Megadeth albums, but there's only one Foo Fighters album I ever listened to. There's only one Monster Magnet album I ever listened to, and there's only one Megadeth album, and it's Rust in Peace. And again, they're not one of my favourite bands, but it is one of my favourite albums. Last two, System of a Down, Toxicity. I've never really got on with System of a Down elsewhere. I know there are other good albums, and I know people that I really respect their music taste that think I'm an idiot for thinking Toxicity is the best System of a Down album, but it's the only one.
Is there was one before Toxicity? The one that's got sugar on it?
Yeah. Well, the reason I didn't say the name of it is because I couldn't remember it, and I still can't remember it. And then the two albums that they did like a double release out.
Mesmerise and Hypnotise.
Yeah, they're not that good. They've got their moments. Help us, Gav. Tell us what the name of that fucking.
It has System of a Down, isn't it?
It's a self-titled. Yeah,
it's a self-titled. So System of a Down, I would have to go back and put it side by side because I just have that knee-jerk reaction that System of a Down would be my favourite album because that's probably one I get in on. But then everybody loves fucking Toxicity, don't they? So I need to go back. Maybe by the next episode, I'll have what my fingers. Still, this album is quite forgettable. And then Mesmerise, Hypnotise. I feel like by Mesmerise, Hypnotise, people were kind of done with the whole System of a Down thing. Nobody was really that bothered anymore. And here we are now, they're fucking playing stadiums.
Well, they've really, and I feel like their legacy's not been that great in the way that they've done the reunion shows when they blatantly can't really be in a room together that much, and they're not going to be able to do new music ever. And I don't know whether I want to say they shouldn't do it because you should earn money from the stuff. That's okay. I'm actually okay with bands earning money, but for me as a fan, it gives me the ick a bit that they can't do anything.
You want to enjoy. You do want to know. I don't know, like you're an Oasis fan. You do what the idea of Noel and Liam being up there and absolutely hating each other is kind of a wee bit off-putting because you want to be part of the enjoyable, but you want to feel whether it's true or not that the band are enjoying themselves being there too, where you're enjoying yourself. So there's something about that. And these shows, because it was not an incredible one that System of a Down announced like London Stadium and then had a second night. I mean, have those sold? Have they sold both of those shows out? We need to check out.
I'm not sure.
And also, did I suppose at some point we should investigate? Did the Dillinger gamble work? Have they done Brixton? Is that did that sell?
I've no answers to any of your questions. It seems.
I know. I'm just about there. Like you something.
It would be good to know. We should
You know what? I suppose it's not a news to give, but I mean, it's a bit like, well, if they'll go to Brixton, it was going to be, oh, fuck, you had to go and get your Dillinger's Gate plan ticket yesterday because that's how big they are. Or was it a case of, no, kind of our fears were realised in the sense that maybe they're no fit for that size of venue? Well, interesting to find out one way or another. You're not going to the Biffy, fucking hell, Gav, the Dillinger show, are you?
No, I don't think so. So, I mean, just going back to what you said about System of a Down, I think that for me, it's very much like what I said about the colour and the shape, is that the standard of songs on that album is insane. And they've got like, it's a deep album with deep cuts, but it's got, the hits are so high. Like the song Toxicity. It's always like, how can a song be that catchy and also still be like metal? Really? Yeah. It's like Slipknot done it on occasion with like Duality, but I think the consistency of that album, I mean, okay, here's my hot take. So, Slipknot have never done an album that's anywhere near as good as Toxicity is. Eat that, people. My last one is who's the band with the biggest gap between their best and their worst albums? It is Machine Head. And I'm going to cheat slightly on Daniel's question because The Blackening and Burn My Eyes are so far away. They're like all-time classics. Fucking just top classics. Incredible albums. But they cannot be my favourite band for all the reasons we talked about in the past because there's just so much dog shit in there. And actually now, we're not in the dog shit era anymore. We're just in the boring era now. I'm not interested. The albums are fine. At best.
Aye.
But Burn My Eyes, classic. The Blackening. Both those, when I'm like, what are my favourite albums of all time? Both of those go in there, I should listen to them again pile. So that's how high I think of that.
I mean, like, we're in agreement that Through the Ashes of Empire is a classic though, as well, no?
No, I don't know the album really well enough to answer that. I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
Because I'd given up on them at that point. Because that comes after Supercharger, doesn't it?
Aye, so I think you missed the point.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm never listening to you again.
I'm pretty certain that's the one who starts with Imperium and then closes with an absolute Descend the Shades of Time or something like that. And like it starts and finishes with two like 10 out of 10 Machine Head bangers, and it's a great album. So okay, let's not go back to the Machine Head chat. Fucking hell, man, my life's chaotic enough with adding Machine Head, didn't you? Okay, is that a thorough enough answer for Daniel?
Yeah, you're not going to give us your answer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give you what I came up with in the 5 minutes that you've been talking. I think Every Time I Die, Hot Damn is an absolute 10 out of 10 belter, and it got me into a lot of that type of music or bands in that scene. And the track Floater is an all-timer. I fucking love that. And that album, and not that I disliked other Every Time I Die records, I just never connected with any of them that much. I tried a couple of times where I dipped in and out, and I always feel like it's not Hot Damn. And I never got anywhere really. I did try the one before the album they released before Hot Damn, and I tried a couple afterwards, and it was like, this is music I should love, and I know that I love this band, and I know I love that record, and I just couldn't get there. It was really fucking annoying when you had them booked for 2000 Trees playing that record, and for whatever reason was I still reviewing festivals then, or it was Teeny Park still going, or was that fucking, I don't know what I was doing, but I never got to come down and see it. Was that well received, or was that a record that sort of slipped between the cracks with the 2000 Trees crowd?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say is I think all the Every Time I Die fans I know, of which I'm not really a massive Every Time I Die fan, but I know lots of people who are, and they've all got a different answer to that question. So that was the one time where I was really like, album in full sets are a bit fucking funky. For a band like that, you just can't get it right.
Yeah, I mean, like a cult of owner. You talk to 10 cult owner fans, and every one of them got a fucking different album. I mean, it's like some of them are ridiculous. Like I'd be like Eternal Kingdom with like Following Betulous on it, and then they'll go like Vertigo, and I'm like, I really struggled with Vertigo. Somebody will hit out one of the new albums that I've that I've really struggled with, and you're a bit like, how did you get here? That year that I put on Somewhere Along the Highway tour in Glasgow, what an amazing record that is. And you had people who were like, that's the weakest record. And you're like, that's one of those, that's a great thing as well. You being a band that you have a bunch of material out there and everyone's got a favourite album is it's a testament to how strong your career's been and your musical output be and the diversity of it, as instead of what Foo Fighters have got. I think a lot of people would be in the same camp here, that a lot of Foo Fighters albums are held up with one strong track. Best of You, Pretender, fucking White Limo, well, like one good track on it to hold up, one single to sort of get the attention to start. Then when you get into it, you're like, wow, that's a lot of like turgid fucking derivative nonsense.
It's an interesting one as to why. The question as to why bands lose it, because I was listening to the new Muse single this week, and so I'm not reviewing the new Muse album yet. Let's give them a chance. But I haven't had a Muse album that I like for a fucking long time. The last 3 I've really thought were poor, and then you compare that to Biffy Clyro, a band from sort of a not massively dissimilar time period, not a massively dissimilar number of albums. And Biffy are able to put out what some people would consider one of their best ever albums last year. And then Muse don't seem to be able to hit the heights of what they used to do. And the Foo Fighters, really, I mean, they're selling this new album as like a return to their sort of punk rock roots. And from the first single, that sounded like a rock star living in a fucking land of make-believe to me. Like I will go into the new Foo Fighters album with an open mind and be like, I'd love to love a Foo Fighters album again. But I really enjoyed loving a Biffy album, but I just can't see Muse or Foo Fighters bringing it back, to be honest.
I mean, that was a surprise with the Biffy chat for last week when people were saying, about that. I just thought, okay, well, you're going to say Infinity-Land if you're from the first 3 album type people, or you might go with one of the... I don't think I've ever heard Celebration of Endings, and I've definitely not heard the one that came out. I've never heard the Ripses. So I'm a bit like, because I really do like Critique. I think it's fucking brilliant. So if I missed it in this big period of Biffy Clyro's back catalogue where I've just went, okay, they went in the direction of what the songs like The Captain, and that's fine and good for them, and they became as big as they are, and I hope they continue to be, but it's not really for me. And I'm listening to Critique like, no, this is really for me actually. And if I just skip past like this 10 to 15 year period of Biffy Clyro that I should have been enjoying.
Yeah, well, you can't deny the size of some of the songs, and that you're saying about that True Believer song. But there was a song off an album, I can't even remember the name of the album, but the song's called Wolves of Winter. I absolutely fucking love it. Like they can still reel out the bangers, but I think the different thing about the album from last year is just the quality is high all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah. Okay, well, to finish off Daniel's question, because this is a slightly different take in it, is Frightened Rabbit's Midnight Organ Fight is top 10 albums ever recorded and released in the history of fucking music. Some of the best lyrics, some of the best songwriting I have ever heard. Emotional as fuck. The guy writes his suicide letter 10 years before he takes his life, and explicitly tells you what he's going to do. And it's a fucking emotional listen, and it's sort of been intertwined with some of the biggest events in my life as well, like proposing to Kelly or my wedding day. Had Frightened Rabbit music playing through it all. That album is top tier, and their other music's good.
The Builders are back in.
the Winter of Mixed Drinks, the Painting of a Panic Attack. I've got those records. If they come on, the music and it's all great, but there's the gap between that and the other records is phenomenal. But even still, it would still be one of my favourite bands just because that record is as fucking good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, for anyone that didn't hear that, there was a drill in the background. That wasn't just me randomly cutting it.
The drilling had started again.
So, look, I think the obvious question here, Gab, is I'm not trying to force this in, actually. I'm not trying to force this forward, but I'm just asking you an honest, open question here. We've just leaked a bunch of our albums of all time there in this episode. What's your feeling? Because I'm about to go on holiday for 2 weeks, so I could actually I could do some listening on. Is it something you want to do? I suppose my question is, do you want to do this side of the summer, an albums of all time, or are we not bothered and we'll kick it down the road?
I think I know I'm bothered, but I don't feel there's a rush for it. I feel like somewhere right slap bang in the middle would be. I mean, so what you thought would need to be September before you were able to do it again because you're going to put your life and heart and soul into it.
I am going to put my heart and soul into it, but I could prep it now. I'm going to prep it now.
Start.
I've already started, mate.
And I'm okay. I'm going to get. I've got 10 days. Is that 10 days in Turkey? I'm going to start finessing then. Okay, I'll start finessing. I do
Jack Daniels by the pool, mate. It's lovely.
I would say I've got 5 or 6 albums that I know for sure will be there, and then you get ones that really do need to be investigated again, and did they stand the test of time? Or there's been too long a Spotify era now that sort of discombobulated. I think 15 years ago you really knew the difference with the 9 Inch Nail album to the other 9 Inch Nail album, but sometimes now you're a bit like, I just love 9 Inch Nails, and where the fuck did that track come from now? So
yeah,
there's definitely going to be, but that's an enjoyable journey as well, isn't it? We're sitting aside of the pool, we're listening to fucking Pretty Hate Machine. I'm sure I can manage, so I will do that. Lawrence Brabender. With merch being such a big part of a band's ability to make profit from touring, I was interested in what Gavin said about helping out We Lost to See get merch printed in the UK to save them shipping it from Australia. Have you considered opening Damnation clothing up to include artists that are either appearing or have previously appeared at Damnation? Okay. So I'm still up for this idea as well. I mean, Pins and Knuckles have been in touch and said they're happy to support this tour in any way they can support it. So I'm hoping we can get some stuff set up for the bands. And anything We Lost to See need. I think We Lost to See are already working with Pins and Knuckles, so they'll be smart enough to get their stuff printed and not shipped over for Australia. Getting stuff shipped for anywhere now is just, unless you're coming for an 18-day tour and it's going to be, I don't know, you've got specialist printers or you get specialist merch items or a relationship or a contract, just don't do it. I mean, it's like the importing fees and the hassle of it all and the cost of it all was just work with a company that can do it here. And there's not just Pins and Knuckles, there'll be a bunch of them we can get it done here. That'd be my first advice to any band flying in to get away from some of the fucking fees that are involved that are astronomical. As for Damnation clothing, that's the same setup. I know it looks different in front, but Pins and Knuckles are involved with Damnation clothing, so it's a treat. Just think of Damnation clothing as being another band. So it could be done via Damnation clothing, but there'd be no need for it because it's all coming from the same source. It's all coming from the team at Pins and Knuckles, the factories, the supply lines of Pins and Knuckles. They have got a huge setup in Margate where it's all produced from and sent out in offices around the world, and that's what would be happening with a band anyway, so there would be no need for Damnation clothing. Every time we offer a band, especially an overseas band, a slot at Damnation, especially for a big one, a band like Nails, for example, we say Pins and Knuckles are offering a discount on merch, free delivery, and the security and guarantee that'll be there. So fucking there's no cut for Damnation as we don't make a single penny off it, but do this because it's going to save us a dozen emails when your merch shipment has been lost somewhere or needs to get picked up, or there's a tax to pay in it, or how you get it to site. I mean, it gets Pins and Knuckles the business, it gets you the security of getting quality merch delivered for free to site, and if they do some sort of deal with Pins and Knuckles, they can get their merch taken away and stocked and sold. So it's a bit of hassle free, but you know what, agents aren't involved with merch, so they tend not to be that interested. And a lot of managers think that you've got some sort of cut in it. The only reason you're even flagging up is because you've got skin in the game, which sadly isn't true. So a lot of bands don't take you up in it and then lose merch. Boxes of fucking vinyl and CDs or fucking t-shirts and long sleeve hoodies go missing, and then they're a bit like, well, you can't blame Damnation, mate. Like, we gave you an out for this and you chose to take your own path and your path was fucked. So that's I'm happy to help out these bands, and I hope we can do something with Pins and Knuckles and this We Lost to See tour. I'd love to see a sort of, sometimes you get the tour t-shirts that's got all the bands in it, something that can be done. But I can't run, it's getting short in time now, but hopefully we could get something like that set up. That'd be good to see.
That would be cool. I'd love to know the statistics on, like, someone should do a sort of survey on the world must be full of spare t-shirts, right? Because I went on tour years ago to America with Jim Lockie and the Solemn Sun when I was their manager. And And the American record label at the time let us leave our T-shirts in their offices because we'd be back, and we never went back. Like, so, are those T-shirts still there? I mean, it's more than 10 years ago now, I think. I mean, I don't know. Are those T-shirts still there? Like, when We Lost the Sea have finished on this run, where will the T-shirts be? They'll be at Pins and Knuckles. And how long do they stay there for? Like, the last Slipknot tour, because you'd never want to you wouldn't want to run out for the last show, would you? And if you're Slipknot, miss your 120 grand a night payday.
Yeah.
Where do those T-shirts go? I mean, I guess some are going on a web store and still being shipped out, but there must be fucking T-shirts everywhere.
Definitely smaller, and by Slipknot, every single item will be counted up and sent back to the next place because the money will be in it for it. But definitely, like, We Lost the Sea, they shipped vinyl across for when they were doing Damnation a few years back, and the box of vinyl showed up 4 weeks after they played. And showed up at this guy Simon's office because I've got this big box. I said, I mean, at this point you're going to need to open it because there could be absolutely anything in there. And he says, pretty heavy. He goes, says Departure Songs. I mean, you've got a fucking box of Departure Song finals. So but the thing is, I put the Mike, the manager of We Lost the Sea, who's sitting in Australia, back in touch with the guy Simon, who's sitting in Manchester, to try and get that. I mean, that was an issue that had nothing to do with Damnation. It was just like they'd shipped it, and a month later it showed up. And I think that happens a lot at Pick. I think they've got boxes of stuff all over the place. And we know for a fact there was, in the year that Converge played and the year that Pig Destroyer played, both of them lost a box of merch each. So where did that go? Where did that arrive? He's sitting somewhere. Somebody's factory, some import-export bit, there's a box of fucking Prowler on the Yard T-shirts. And it's just like, oh man, it's like, guys, please take advice here. Do you know the Pins and Knuckles show up with it? They will leave with it, and then you've got it there. Worst case scenario, pay them a few quid and they'll send it back to whatever country you're in. But it's madness. The whole merchant situation is mental.
Yeah, there's a folk punk singer called Tim Barry, who I met on the Frank Turner tour one year, and he asked me, can I leave my vinyl with you? And I literally put it in my car boot with my golf clubs, and it fucking stayed there, and I forgot what it was. And then one day I got an email from him saying, have you still got my merch? I'm like, yeah. It's probably all fucking melted to fuck now, but it's in my car boot. It's just a mad.
You've actually reminded me. I come back up the road with everything. So the day after Damnation this year was chaos because bands had left, like Pig Destroyer, there was merch all over the place. The temp was coming down, it was starting to rain. So I'm running about with like tarpaulin, and some bands have come back to collect bits and bobs. You know, it's like the bands come, they celebrate, but at the end of the night, they're not thinking about their fucking T-shirts. They're rock stars now. They've just played this. So there was stuff all over the gaff, but it got loaded into our trailer was this box that I didn't know anything about, and I opened it, and it was just a box of Ted Mull CDs. So I don't know, 40 CDs or something. I get in touch with the band and said, sorry, you can keep them. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with 40 CDs? So it's still sitting up there. I think maybe a couple of T-shirts as well. So I mean, if they're going to start doing shows again, I need to get that sent back to them. But there's lots of that stuff they're just written off at the end of their show, or a one-off, or who knows what happened to that, because at the end of the day, the merch seller just end up getting drunk with us and partying after the show. So it's like us at the end. I mean, we like at the end of every podcast show, and then with big boxes and stuff, trying to go back we just want to go to the pub, I want to go for a drink, but no, you're going back to the van with Shifty and Tom with these boxes of merch to make sure it gets to where it's supposed to go.
In the rain in Brighton. What a fucking time to be alive. Okay, last question. Steve Dunn, one for James, but Gav can weigh in. Much like Download, Trees as themed days, i.e. fancy dress. On the ClownCon day at ATG, there were lots of related outfits. So why not set a theme for an ATG day? An answer of ATG goers don't do fun doesn't count. Well, Steve, firstly, ATG goers don't do fun. And secondly, a few years ago, we asked people, would they like us to do fancy dress? And they said no. So, I mean, our sales and marketing guys, Mitch, Sai, etc., are listening to this. So if you want to ask the audience again, do they want to do a fancy dress? I'm all for it. I think it's a lovely fucking bit of. I love how it works at Trees. I thought it was a real shame that Gav didn't take part in the Trees fancy dress last year. I'm hoping he will this year. it's actually soon. It's going to be announced soon. But look, I think the ATG goers version of fun is wearing black, isn't it? It's like watching Armin Ra with your eyes closed while wearing black. So I don't think fancy dress is necessary, but if people want a fancy dress, we will fucking organise a fancy dress, because I think it is quite fun. But not that I would ever do it at anyone's festival, ever. But are you going to do it, Trees, this year?
I don't know. I don't like. Listen, I am not against a fancy dress. Halloween, I'll go to a Halloween party. One thing I do think about fancy dress is the joke will sting quite quickly. Like, in all circumstances, even by the time we went out and done a Halloween night for a few hours, by the time you'd be like, I would quite like to just be fucking dressed normally now. You know what I mean? This is. And why is my mate in blackface? It's like, if I just walk off an India.
That was definitely a live podcast story, wasn't it? Let's not go down that road.
So
do you know what's your plan for Trees this year? Have you even got that far? Do you think you might bring the family? Or
I think I'm definitely. Oh, I think there's a wall coming downstairs. Aye, but the plan is definitely myself and Kelly, and hopefully we can get. I mean, the chances of Niall doing anything now, he's fucking got a car to drive a bit. That'll probably be the last I see him at anything on a paid for holiday. But it'd be good to get, and I'm still on this, I'm very much in this mission of getting Cadence involved in as much music as I can possibly can. And then hopefully Charlotte will follow suit and find a passion for it too. So it was a great time last year. I don't think we're going to come down in the big wagon again. So we need to have some sort of discussion on what my plans are going to be for that. There seems to be there's definitely an enthusiasm for a bus at Art Tangent, for like a party bus at Art Tangent. So I just need to. I mean, Begley's listening to these, and then no helping us out at all, basically, is he?
No,
he's just
not heard from him.
He's like, fuck you, it's not my job to find your bus. I'm like, oh, thanks, mate, I appreciate it. Thanks for your help. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm sitting here with a bunch of bus contacts anymore. Fucking sold the buses. So, that as for the fancy dress, I mean, Art Tangent, I think it really works at Trees. I watched something even download. Art Tangent, you're right. It's a bit like you get people at Art Tangent that like listening to radio fuzz for fun. You know what I mean? It's like you're not going to fucking the idea of them dressed up as Mario and Luigi's a wee bit far fetched. They will go and watch some fucking abject misery. So, I found I've been involved sometimes. I mean, we go to Hellfest and we have a pal Marshall. In fact, you've met Marshall a billion times, and he loves a floral shirt. And we had a wee trend going that we'd have a day that we'd all have a stick on a floral shirt, which was a wee bit of fun for a few hours. But I get in full fancy dress get up, and then after a few hours you're a bit just drunk and wishing you were dressed properly. So sorry to burst that bubble, Steve. We're just no fun type of people, pal. You know what I mean?
All good. I think we're on the same page there. I've got an apology to make to Lou. Our mate Lou Brick. Have you been following Lou? He's on he's in Thailand at the moment.
Yes.
Looks lovely. I'm going to Thailand and he's making me feel very happy. He looks hot, really sweaty.
Sticky,
it's nice to see Lou so
sticky.
sweaty. Yeah, sticky, yeah. Yeah, but it looks lovely, Lou. I've got an apology because whatever I was blathering on about the Kong's hot sauce last week was utter bollocks, as my brother immediately pointed out to me last Thursday. I was thinking about some other chicken shop in Manchester, which will remain nameless. So in case Lou noticed, that's an apology. Having said that, fucking Kong's hot sauce is great. But it's not as great as the BSM one, which is outstanding.
And have you had the Don't Go Baking My Heart yet?
No, I'm going to go and straight after this, I'm going to have my lunch.
I have that much left in the bottom of the bottle. I think it might be the quickest a bottle has ever been wiped out. It is, I mean, liquid frazzles, like I described it the other day. I want it in everything. Absolutely everything. I'm like, let's just fire. Do you think bacon will go with, Don't Go Baking My Heart will go with this now? Fuck it on anyway. Right, boom, there you go, another thing. But it's so good. It is so good. It's helped us. The last few nights have been challenging because you're trying to make dinners with microwave, a kettle, and an air fryer, and that's kind of all you've got to work between it. So sometimes a wee bit of the hot sauce has helped a rather bland dinner. Otherwise, a bit of chicken breast that really could do with a bit of flavour. It's been great. I've not, because the Kongs and another couple of these new ones are still in a box underneath my boiler. I haven't had a chance to do that, but BSM and the Big Scary Monsters and the fucking bacon ones is class. An order on it, it has a lot of good stuff at the minute. You can go on there, you get Kongs, V-Rev, Black Garlic and Truffle, the Slap and Pickle. They're all there. A bunch of spicy ones, like sailing his anal vomit. There is a good time. He's coming back from Thailand, I believe, in the next couple of days. Let's give him a workload. I mean, he's going to come back a bit broken, a bit not in the mood for packaging up like 80 sauces. But let's make him do it. Let's get him. That slap bang. There you go. Get your work done, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed Thailand. So pod 15 is for Loose Brews. Pod 10. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Pod 10 if you're at the web store or checkout with ISO merch. Pod 15 gets you 15% discount off sauces at Loose Brews. Tons of good stuff on there at the minute. Go and fill your basket and give the man some work to do.
Lovely. Okay, mate, they said I didn't know how to structure an episode to make it exactly an hour and a half, but they were wrong, those people. So we are now on the record. I'm going to choose 2 songs, as is my want. And the songs I'm going to choose are Sucker Punch by the Wildhearts. It is one of my favourite songs by the Wildhearts. It is fast, it is heavy, and it is absolutely full of sugary melodies that they're brilliant at. It's fucking great. And I am going to choose a song off the new Neurosis album because it's all I listen to. And I've forgotten to bring in a song name with me. So I'm just quickly opening the album. I'm going to choose In the Waiting Hours, which might not be the most representative song on the album. It's the We Lost the Sea style post rock song that I sent to Gav this morning. It's a fucking brilliant song. The album is great. The Wildhearts are great. Neurosis are great. Listen to them both.
Yes, I agree. I think First Red Rays, I think, is the one that really caught me. I thought was an absolute banger as well. I am going. But well done for this is twice you've predatory voided me, right? Because out of nowhere you just dropped it into the WhatsApp. You just sent me a message. There was no chat around it. There was nothing you were going to say. Just like predatory void, right? And without anything else to say, like, they're great. And then you put on your plan here, predatory void, and you've ditched them too. Is this
right? Okay. Well, okay. Look,
you're not getting 3. You're not getting 3. No. Tell us all about them next time. We have 3 choices in 1 week. You off your fucking mind. I am good, but I do want to hear. I think you've got me. Like I've got the.
Okay.
I'm on the hook for this. I fucking love Predatory Void, so I want to hear all about it when you're ready to talk about them next week, okay? I am going, because I do pronunciation so well, I'm going to go with Unverkult, okay? Which is Unververkalt, Unverkult, or cult. And the track is Die Orsolongchung.
You said VER twice in that spelling. Is it Unververkult or is it
Unverkult? Aye.
I'll find it. What's the track?
Die Orsolongchung, which I think is really good pronunciation. I'll send you. Really good. And these, I alluded to this in a previous pod, is black metal with Julie Christmas and vocals. It's incredible. Absolutely fucking incredible. I love this. Is my new favourite album from last few weeks. Paul Farrington recommendation. This one came completely out of the blue. He'd been listening to it for a couple of times and he knew that it's something that I'd be all over. I mean, big elements of hardcore in there, post-metal in there. It's fucking meaty. And then when you get that those vocals with something a wee bit special, a wee bit extra spice to them. Great track, great album. Go and check them out once James has put them on the record, because there's no doubt you fucking had no idea what I just said for both those things there. So yes, another great fucking shout for On the Record. Go and give that playlist a like. Fucking give it all like. Go and, like, we're almost at 3,000 subs on YouTube, which is our sort of like neglected cousin. But it's good to have people still watching on YouTube as well. So let's get that to the 3,000. Our Patreon, our appeal for new subs is a fucking absolute washout. I think about 2 people cancelled and maybe 1 person started. So I think we came out of that as we actually lost a sub. So Aye, if you're feeling generous, go and give us a sub on Patreon or direct to the bank account. Go and give us a like, a follow, support the pod. The next couple of weeks are going to be challenging, and it's always good to have a wee pick me up.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good. I enjoyed that, Gav. That was a nice, fun, little, easy one.
It was a wee loosey-goosey, wasn't it? It was one of those ones where we're like, oh, fuck, maybe that was the worst episode we've ever done. You didn't enjoy it, or maybe that's exactly what you need after a guest, or maybe some of the harder hitting stuff, or me arguing with people. You can let us know. There wasn't actually, for last week being such a strong episode, and for people enjoying it, there wasn't a whole lot of feedback, which I quite enjoy the feedback. Well, negative or positive, I quite enjoy the conversation. So get involved. Don't just leave us hanging here, sitting talking to each other. Get involved with us. So that's that. You're going to give me a battle plan to get through the next 4 episodes in 8 days.
Yep, I'll send it to you now.
Boom. Pleasure, big man.
Thanks, mate.